Did the IPO process just break? It feels like we're talking about it now, but Spotify and these others have been, going a different route for some time.
I think there's a number of things. First of all, it's not something that needs to be completely reworked. I think at the end of the day, they need to have a much more discipline. I mean, they're just lacking discipline in the system. The pitch books that are being made, that I've received on deals that I've been doing, valuations beyond reasonable. At the end of the day, venture capital needs to have more discipline on its expectations, and investment banks need to have more reality in how they present opportunities. It's one of the reasons we created these special purpose acquisition vehicles. These vehicles enable you to present your ideas to investors in a private setting, set a realistic valuation, and go from there. But look at some of these deals that are being done recently. It's really like a discipline, I think, mostly at the investment banking level.
You spent obviously a lot of your career, Martin, in both private companies and indeed in the public market. Have you ever seen it as dislocated as it is now in terms of the expectations of the companies and indeed their advisors coming public and what the pension funds and people in the public market are willing to pay?
Not since 2000. But you had companies like Rare Medium, if you remember back in 2000, they'd go public, they had no business, no revenue, get investors to buy it, and then a year and a half, 2 years later, they're gone, disappeared, and it didn't exist at all. I think when you get to the point where you're simply selling concepts, I think, there's one company that was trying to go public, talking about raising the level of customers' social awareness or something as a pitch of why you should buy their shares. I just think you go back to the fundamentals. We need to go back to fundamentals. I just did a deal for a company that had $400 million of EBITDA and received very little attention, at least initially. It will build, but when people go back to looking at fundamentals of what companies make, that's going to make a difference.